Welcome to Carol of Bells Bagpipe Workshop. This is a free workshop, 3 short lessons. You can sign up with the link below. I've got some sheet music for you if you're interested in that. I'll show you how to do the embellishments. I'll show you without the embellishments. So if you're interested in that workshop, click on the link below, and this is lesson 1 of 3. So here we are. We're going to start on our introductory note, our E. So our ring finger is up on the top hand, pinky is up on the bottom hand. That's our introductory note for the bagpipes. So if you're new to bagpipes, I do have some other lessons that are a little bit more basic, but real quick nuts and bolts. Bottom hand's the right hand, top hand's the left hand. Bottom hand fingers are fairly straight. Top hand fingers are fairly straight as well. There's a thumb hole on the back for the top. There's a pinky hole on the bottom for that right hand. So we're on our E, as I mentioned. We're going to drop down to a D, which can be a tricky transition if the chanter's new to you. So when we drop down to D, so when we go down to that D, we're going to drop the ring finger of the top hand, we're going to drop the pinky finger of the bottom hand, and we're lifting up 3 fingers off that chanter of the bottom hand. So we should end up in this position. And you can get there with a G grace note if you're working on grace notes, or if you have that transition down pat already, you're probably ready to try a G grace note. If you're still working on the transition, don't worry about the grace note just yet. The grace note we're doing is a G grace note, top finger of the top hand. So that's the grace note, but we're doing it from an E to a D. So that grace note finger has to be the first finger to lift, and then you do that transition, and it's the last finger to come down. If that grace note finger comes down too early, you're going to hear a crossing noise, or an extra kind of note sounding thing in there that ideally we don't want there. So if you choose to add in that grace note, awesome, this is going to be a fun way to practice your G grace notes. So where are we going from here? After that D, we're going to drop down to the C. Again, you have the option of doing the G grace note. If you're not doing the grace notes, this is what we got so far. So we just drop down to the C by bringing the top finger of the bottom hand down on the chanter. If you're going to do the grace note version, again from D to C, that top finger is going to lift, you do the transition, and then the top finger comes down. That's like the slow motion version. Okay, so this is what we got so far for the grace note version. So we got 2 more notes left to go, 1 more grace note if you're into that sort of thing. So after that C, we're going right back up to the D, just simply lifting that finger. And then we drop down to the B. So non-grace note version first. So we've gone up to the D, and then we just drop right down to the B. Sorry if I misspoke there, but just to be clear, we're on the D already. We drop down to the C, we go back up to the D, and then we drop all the way down to the B. And the B note, we need to bring 2 fingers onto the chanter of the bottom hand, and then we lift up the pinky. That ring finger stays up the whole time. Okay, so that's the non-grace note version, and for the, if we're going to add in the grace note, So I like to also do that. The third G grace note will be going down to that B from the D. So we have to lift that top finger, do our transition from D to B, make sure that ring finger is up and the pinky's up, and then bring back down that top finger. That's like the slow motion version. Like when you watch the cartoons in slow motion and you realize it's just still pictures. It's not very entertaining. So it does need to speed up, but it'll only get there by repetition, by practicing. So this is a fun way to practice those grace notes. Here's the grace note version all together. Oh, sorry, here's the grace note version again. There it is. So there's the grace note version, and this, this little section we've done, that can just be repeated, I would say at least 4 times. That's what I've put in the music. But you could do it 6 times, you could do it 8 times, you could do it 3 times, whatever you want. But I like at least 4, and maybe a little bit more after that. So just to play 4 times in a row here for you, what that would sound like. I'll play it slow and then I'll play it a little bit quicker. Non-grace note version first. And if you're wondering, hey, what happened to that E? We only do it leading into the song. We don't do it on any repeats of this phase, or even if we repeat the whole song, we don't do that introductory E note. So that E note's only at the very, very start of the tune. So as you hear the grace note version, it adds a little bit of flair, a little bit of flavor to it, but you can have a lot of fun with the tune even without grace notes. So hope that's helpful. Working on this first phase, have some fun. Let me know if you have any questions, and hope to see you in lesson 2, another short lesson. They're all under 10 minutes, and you're going to have this fun Christmas tune under your belt. See you in lesson 2.